When the Tide comes in, it's a really early song for John and I, one of the originals. When we were getting together, one of the first demos we did. But when you actually look back to how the song was written, I had all these ideas, all these riffs, and John, it's a good example of basically John going in and going, no, put that there, take that there, flip that around and put it like that, and completely tore it apart. So what I brought to the table was like, this is my verse, this is my chorus. He goes, no, that's your verse, that's your chorus. And it works, it's just great.
When we were recording it, I had this idea of it being like a proper rock and roll version of The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson. For some reason I always had that thing in my head.
When the Tide comes in is one where I really saw the benefit of having Clint as our producer, who was also a drummer, and it's because John had this idea when writing it that the drums or the rhythm would have a similar sound to what Marilyn Manson did in The Beautiful People. So it's this almost electronic sounding drums, very dampened but on an acoustic kit.
Then when we went to the studio, went on another journey with what Clint and his vision had.
It was a really fun process. So we actually took the drums into one of the rooms in the studio which had a bit more of a condensed sound, and then we put T-tails on the drums, and so they stopped the resonance coming through. And I recorded the bass drum separately in another room and the hi-hat, and then we went in to record the verses on these dampened down drums.
So when Clint started doing all this crazy weird shit with the drums, I thought, this sounds good. He's got some weird compression on the drums.
When we open up into the pre-chorus and the chorus, I'm back in another room on the full acoustic kit where you get the resonance and the drums are, it's a classic rock drum sound. So it was really experimental. Wasn't quite sure how it would come out, but I think it fits the song really well. I think it's just another example where we've got that kind of interesting verse setup, but then we go into our standard badass rock and roll choruses.
What Clint has done to it production-wise is taken it to a whole new level, and it sounds like this amazing song.
The middle section is one of my favourite bits. When Adam's got his slide guitar on, it just sounds so nasty. And it's really hard to keep in tune, but somehow I just managed to stay in tune and perfect. In that section, it's like devils or something waiting outside your house.
The one thing I will always remember and I love about When the Tide was recording it is I brought to the studio this idea that in the breakdown for the solo and the outro was I want to put some slide guitar in it, make it sound really eerie and dirty. It turns out I can't play slide guitar in tune to save my life. And what we just about got away with, and if you hear on the album, I'm basically not in tune, it's completely out of tune, but it just sits on the edge to get away with it. That what I like to claim is it's deliberate because it makes it sound really haunting. But truth be told, the people who were there will know that actually that was the best take out of a very bad bunch and probably closest I got to being in tune. But by fortune, what would have it is it actually works really well because it's just on the edge and it makes it sound really haunting and dark before John kicks in with his solo, and then we've got this big slamming fall to the floor outro with loads of singing, etc. From a studio point of view, really fun to do. Loads of different sounds and guitars and everything's going on. But I think as a song, it's probably been on the biggest journey within the bunch.